Okay, I'm going to package the next two together. This is for a coach. So, first one is I'm a first time coach, Squirts, which I don't know what level that is.
That would be like before Adam. So squirts would be in the States is Adam. Like, so I think it's 9 or less.
So that's like U10.
I
Would be
believe
squirt.
so. I
Okay,
believe so.
whatever.
It's around there.
Nervous about being, I think the word is responsible for someone's development. You didn't write the word, but I think I remember reading this one. So first time coach, nervous about being responsible for someone's development. Any tips? That's number one. And together with that, I'm going to wrap it with this one, which is I'm just getting into a serious coaching role. Any tips for just getting started? So we got the coach first time with squirts. So sounds like young guys, nervous about being responsible for development. And then on the flip side, I'm getting into a serious coaching role. Any tips for just getting started with that?
Yeah. So with the first one with the young players and stuff like that, I would say this: be a good person. Just be a good person. Like your development side of it is secondary because it's fun hockey. You're not going to ruin anybody's career as far as the hockey side goes. So I would say at that age, make it fun and competitive, and be yourself. Like you don't have to be Joe hockey coach. Go find drills. No, you want to be appropriate though, right? So you want to find drills for practices that are fun and skill building, and you're really not going to screw up if they're moving around a lot. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the development side. But what I would say is be yourself and make it not a goof around place, but make it fun for the kids. So it's mostly about fun and encouraging and a great place to be, because what you want your youth as they're playing hockey is to have a really good experience, and then and be a positive influence on them, right? And then if I was to focus on any of the skill stuff, they're still so young. It would be like just a lot of skating and stick handling, competitive games, like do some small area stuff, help them pass pucks and stick handle, like that'd be the bulk of your practices. And then in games, like let them play. And if you don't really know, this is the trick, right? If you don't really know what you're doing, don't like, as far as systems, or this is the 8, this is going to the other guy. If you don't really know what you're doing, don't try to pretend, right?
That's so important, man.
Yeah.
People call bullshit so fast.
Yeah.
Like, don't act like you know if you don't know. Just own where your limitations are to solve the
Man,
problem.
you see it so many times. Like someone coaches a team, and all of a sudden, like you go, they become a different person. Like they know everything about the game, and they're so serious and stuff. And the kids feed off of that, right? They know. So when you're coaching that young team, don't worry about the development. If you do a lot of skating and puck drills and keeping it fun and at a good pace, you've won. As far as the games go, you're going to get parents that are way too serious about it, and you just got to be who you are. Just got to be who you are, and if you have the ability to be able to teach kids the game, and you could teach them some life lessons, that's good for you. But you don't have to be that. You want to keep it a good place and fun. As far as the person that is taking coaching seriously, what was the tail end of that question?
A more serious coaching role. Just any tips getting started?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Is okay. So if it's a more serious, let's say it's what that means to me is like it's a little bit older. Maybe it's the levels higher. So let's say it's just for shits and giggles. It's a U14 or a U13 AAA, right? I would give the same advice. Like number one, make sure that you're somewhat qualified to coach that level. Meaning, because the kids have to learn how to play a little bit of hockey. It's not just fun anymore. It should be fun, but it's now you got to teach them a little bit of hockey. So know what you're getting into. So like, do you have forechecks and penalty kills and PKs? Like, it doesn't have to be what the Detroit Red Wings do, but something so that you can coach them along the way. And then again, don't pretend that you're something that you're not. Just go in there with what you have and do your best. I mean, people are going to judge you no matter what. But that's what I would say is like, be prepared as you can. Don't overthink it, and just be yourself, man. It'll be fine.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add to that if you're coaching an older age group a little bit more serious, even like let's say you're up into a junior level, it's just like don't be a wiener about being a coach, because the kids that you're coaching, they start to get a little bit of cool guy attitude because they're teenagers going into their 16, 20, and you want to get buy-in, right? So you have to you have to be on the same team as your players to a certain degree. It can't be like a combative relationship or where you're a bullshitter or whatever, because kids are smart enough to see that now. And a lot of times your players are going to be better than you. So they don't, you have to lead by example and get buy in from your team in order to be successful. Because I remember having coaches where I was just like, shut up, because they didn't know what they were talking about, or they're a bullshitter, or they clearly don't do what they're asking me to do. And integrity was maybe not there, the authenticity wasn't really there, so they just kind of seemed like a little bit of a phony, and that just falls apart fast, especially as you get older, more serious players.
Yeah,
You know,
and then the two more things I would say is number one is always explain why you're doing things. We talk about that a lot. So even if you have a really young group, right? If you say, okay, get on the red line, this is as simple as I can get, right? Get on the red line and we're going to go down and back. Well, if you say we're going down and back and they do it 10 times, they possibly think that they're getting like what the hell is this? It's not fun. Now, I'm not saying I believe in this, but now if you say, okay, guys, we're going to get on the red line and we're going to skate down and back 10 times, and we're doing this because we're going to be the best shaped team in the league.
yeah.
And they go,
Herb
oh, okay.
Brooks.
So, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But okay. So they hear that, oh, we're going to be in the best shaped team in the league. So you could always go back to that. And we're going to do this because skating is the most important. It might be right or wrong. I don't care. But here's why we're doing it. We're going to do this stationary passing drill. And the kids might seem bored, but we're going to do this because passing is one of the most critical skills in hockey. And if you watch other teams, guys, if you watch hockey games, you'll see that a lot of kids don't have passes. If we can pass the puck better than anybody else, then we're going to be able to win a lot more games. So it's not necessarily right, but it's a reason for them to buy in.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, for
So
sure.
everything that you do should have a why. And I would say that the older that as you get older, it's the exact same thing. I had one more thing about the older group. Oh, yeah. So, and then the other thing is that if you're coaching the older that you get, or not even at any point, you could be like, for me, I have a balance of joking around and having good relationships, but I could be very stern and scary at times, right? So someone can't do exactly what I do because I'm me, right? It works for me most of the time. Someone could come in there and they're like ultra organized and things have like you're an organized guy. So if someone has a puck laying on the ice, I'm not saying you are, but you might freak and say the puck shouldn't be there. So understand the personality you are as a coach and let them know this is how I am and this is what I expect. So you put expectations out there. And if you're a real stern guy, it is what you are. It is what it is. But you put expectations out there so that they're not going, what's wrong with this guy? You know, right? Like I'm a disciplinarian. If you do one thing wrong, or if you make one mistake, or if you don't listen, you're on the. But at least the kids know. But it's you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally, man.
So setting the stage is very important.
Yeah,